Could you start your presentation?
Okay, hello everyone, konnichiwa. So I'm in today. So I was going to run through a general presentation on the University of Birmingham. It'll probably be around 30 minutes or so, and then I'll give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you have of me. So you can put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves at the end and ask if you want to. So if you could just keep yourselves muted during the presentation, that would be fantastic. So I'll just start the presentation now. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Yeah, okay. So my name's Alexa Haslam. I am based in international recruitment at the University of Birmingham. Now, normally I would travel out to Japan and would be able to meet you guys at NIC College. Obviously, at the moment, we can't do that. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask in the presentation. You're also welcome to email me and ask me any questions you have, or to get in contact via Yumiko-san if you have any trouble contacting me. Okay, so the university is based in the city of Birmingham. It's the second largest city in the UK with a population of over 1 million. Now, compared to Tokyo, that's probably quite a small city, but it's quite large for the UK. It's only 90 minutes away from London. It's actually much cheaper to live in Birmingham than it is in London. So similar to Tokyo, is very expensive to live in, probably compared to the rest of Japan. So Birmingham is quite a reasonable city. Certainly for students, so there's lots of discounts you can get as a student. There's lots of places that tailor specifically to students, whether it's for entertainment or for food in the city centre. We have really good transport links around Birmingham. So what many of our students will do when they're studying with us is they'll take the opportunity to travel around the UK and also around Europe as well. And so maybe do a weekend in somewhere like Edinburgh, or you can go to somewhere like Iceland or France quite easily. Now, travel hasn't been that easy this year, but it has now opened up in the UK, so you can travel around the UK without any restrictions, and most things are back open again in the UK, so things like restaurants and many of the entertainment venues are opening up again. We also now have easier travel to Europe. So for many places in Europe, you can currently go without quarantine, especially if you're vaccinated. That travel is also starting to open up even more as we go on. So we have an international airport. It's usually quite easy to fly into Birmingham Airport, and you can you'd probably transit in somewhere like Europe, or hopefully it will be easy again to do that in Dubai, for example. That's a really good route. So when I fly to Japan, I will quite often change in Paris and then fly on to Birmingham. So Birmingham's a very multicultural city. Now, that's partly the population that permanently live in Birmingham, work in Birmingham, but it's also because we've got 5 universities in and around the city centre, and the University of Birmingham is the largest of those 5 universities. So consequently, a good proportion of the population is very young, so under 30 years. And as I say, that's partly because of the student population, but also many students will choose to stay and live and work in Birmingham after they graduate, because there's a good number of opportunities to do that in the city centre. We have lots of music venues, we have sports venues, we also celebrate lots of different festivals throughout the year. So we have things like Chinese New Year, we have Vaisakhi, which is the Sikh New Year, some big celebrations around Moseley, which is a suburb of Birmingham, which is close to the university. And we also have a German Christmas market every December. It takes place in the whole of the city centre, so it takes up the whole of the pedestrianised area in the city centre, and it's there from the end of November all the way through until right before Christmas. It's a very, very popular thing for students to do because it's very, very busy. Really nice social event every year. So as I've mentioned, the University of Birmingham, it's the largest of those 5 universities around the city centre. Now we have 37,000 students, and actually over 9,000 of those are international students, and they come from all over the world. So if you're studying with us and based in halls of residence, or studying on one of the many programmes, you'll be meeting students not just from the UK, but from many, many different countries. We're a member of the Russell Group of universities, and the Russell Group is kind of similar to the Ivy League in the US. It's a group of universities that are known for things like teaching quality. We're known for a lower staff to student ratio. So that means that there are fewer students for each member of academic staff, which is very good because it means that you have it's easier for you to get in contact with academics, and there'll be smaller teaching groups as well on many of the programs. And we're also known for our research. So we've won 11 Nobel Prizes amongst our former staff and students, and those Nobel Prizes are mainly in chemistry and in medicine. Now we have campuses in Birmingham and also in Dubai. So all of our courses are taught at the Birmingham campus, and some of our popular courses are also offered in the Dubai campus. And for students selecting to study at Dubai, they can also opt to take 1 or 2 years of their study and actually come and study at Birmingham as part of their course. So it's very flexible and offers obviously lots of different opportunities. So students, if you're looking for employment in the UK, you might want to study at Birmingham. If you're actually looking at being internationally employable and maybe considering working in the UAE, you might opt to look at the Dubai campus. Now we have a wide range of careers fairs on campus throughout the year. Some of those are targeted at specific subjects. So if you're studying something like business or law, you would go to the specific careers fair for that. But we also have very general careers fairs where many employers will come onto campus. So if you're planning to work in the UK after you graduate, we have the 2-year post-study work visa. So you can opt to stay and work in the UK for 2 years very easily. And our Careers Network service will help you if you're looking for a job in the UK or even internationally after you graduate. They offer lots of different support services. So they'll help you with your CV, they'll help you with your job application, they will help with interview skills. If you're looking for an internship or if you're looking for part-time work during your degree, they will help you with that. And also, if you're applying to a master's program after you graduate, they will also help you with your personal statement. So they're a very useful department to get to know, and you can go along and see them during Welcome Week, which is when you first start your degree, and just get an introduction to the services. So we are ranked in the top 100 in the world in the QS World Rankings, and we have very highly ranked subjects, both internationally and also in the UK. So internationally, things like international development is in the top 50. So is dentistry, so is sport and exercise sciences. So that's in the top 10 in the international world rankings. And then in the UK, our subjects such as physiotherapy, social policy, music, a range of engineering subjects, and then things like English literature, so creative writing and English feature in there. So we are highly ranked across a wide range of subjects, and we are currently targeted as the #1 university targeted by the top 100 graduate employers in the UK. So our graduates are very employable, and the vast majority we expect to be in graduate level jobs shortly after graduating. Now the campus, when you're looking at a university to study at in the UK, remember that you'll be living on that campus or around that campus for 3, 4 or 5 years, depending how long your degree is. At Birmingham, we're very lucky to have a really beautiful green campus. It's situated only 10 minutes away from the city centre by train, and we have a train station on campus. In fact, we're the only university in the UK to have our own campus-based train station. There's a lot of facilities actually on the campus itself. It operates almost like a small town. So we have an art gallery, we have botanical gardens and a concert hall, and also a really fantastic geological museum. And actually where this photo is taken from is right by the Geological Museum, which is at the back of the historic buildings in the campus centre. We have banks, shops, cafes, restaurants on campus. So when you're opening your student bank account at the start of term, you can use one of the banks on campus. And one of those, actually Lloyds Bank, for example, is a full bank branch. So it's not even just a small bank, it's actually quite a large building, and it's based next to the business school on campus. We also have really fantastic sports facilities. So if you're into sports and you participate at a high level, there's many clubs and societies you can join. If you just want to practice, maybe just play football in your spare time with some other students from your halls of residence, that's also quite easy to do. So the sports facilities, the pitches, certainly you can use them when they're not being used for competitions or practice. I quite often will see students just play five-a-side football on the pitches informally. You can join the sports centre, which has a 50-metre swimming pool. It's got a climbing wall, all of the standard gym facilities, and lots of different classes. And we also have a running track and sports pitches as well on campus. The Guild of Students is where our student societies are based, and I'll talk about student societies in a little while. And we guarantee accommodation for our new students within the university. And the campus itself is very safe, secure and friendly. So it's a really nice place to live. So our undergraduate programmes, we're divided into 5 different colleges. The largest of those colleges is Social Sciences, and it's also one of the most popular colleges. And that's because it houses the business school. So in the business school, we offer business management, accounting and finance, economics, and also things like money banking and finance. And then we also do things like social policy, sociology, international relations and politics and social work. Within arts and law, we have history, and we have all of the English subjects. We have life and environmental sciences for things like physiotherapy and the bioscience subjects. And urban and regional planning is also a popular subject within this department. We have medical and dental sciences because we teach medicine and surgery, we teach dentistry, nursing, biomedical science and pharmacy. And we also have the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences, which teaches the wide range of science subjects and also a wide range of engineering fields. Now, even if you're not studying some of these subjects, you can participate in some of the things that they offer. So, for example, in the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences, the mechanical engineering students, you can see the top photo on this slide is of the Formula racing team. And each year that team builds a Formula racing car, and then they participate in competitions around the UK with other UK universities. And even last year, even during the pandemic, when there were certain restrictions, that team was still building a racing car that year. So it's within mechanical engineering, but actually you can join that team and you can join that society, even if you're not studying mechanical engineering. And similarly, the music department has a huge range of resources, practice spaces, and a music hall where we have many different concerts throughout the year. Now, if you play a musical instrument or if you are a really good singer, you can apply to join one of the orchestras or choirs that we have at the university. And so you may be using the music facilities, even if you're studying a completely different subject. So I've mentioned the music building. It's actually the top photo on this slide. It was built in 2012, so it looks as though it's one of the historic buildings. It's a really beautiful building. It was built to blend in. And within this building, we have the music hall, but we have also, as I've mentioned, the practice spaces on the basement floor level, computer suites for music students. And in the dome, in the top part of the building, that's where the electroacoustic music group will meet and will practice, because the acoustics within the building are really fantastic. But also, if you're just in and around campus, on the ground floor, there is a cafe on the ground floor level and an informal seating area. And in fact, I was in this building yesterday. I was just meeting someone on campus, and so I was actually in the music building, sitting and having a coffee on the ground floor. So it's a really nice space to be, because you're right in the central campus. And I mentioned we host a number of concerts throughout the year. So one of the largest of those is the Chinese New Year concert, which is a really fantastic professional concert. We have professional musicians come in, but at many of our events, we also have our students and staff who will perform if they're part of one of our music groups. And in this green space outside the music building, we host the University Proms each year, which is an open air event. It takes place usually in June. And some of our really talented students will perform as part of the University Proms. And it's usually most of these events are free of charge, and all you need to do is book a ticket to attend. As I mentioned, we have two orchestras and a number of choirs, which you can join even if you're not studying music. Now, the second photo on this slide is the university library. It's open 24 hours a day. It has a wide range of facilities. So it has facilities to help students with reading text, for example, if they have eyesight problems. So if you're partially sighted, there are facilities to help you with written books. But we also have a range of electronic journals and ebooks. So you don't even need to be in the library to be using the facilities, because many of them are electronic. You can also go there to do your printing, and you can hire a laptop while you're in the library, so you don't actually need to take anything with you to go along and study. And then all students have cloud-based access to their notes, so you'll have space on the university server where you can save your notes. So you go along, you borrow a laptop, you use it while you're in the library, you hand it back at the end of your session, and all of your notes you can then access from halls of residence or from anywhere else if you want to. The sports centre is the bottom photo here. And as I said, it opened in 2017, along with the pitches were renovated and resurfaced around the same time, and the running track also. So we have a 50-metre swimming pool. We are hosting the hockey and squash, and also a number of the athletes will be staying on campus for the Commonwealth Games, which takes place next year. Many of our students are going to be volunteering to help with the Commonwealth Games, and it takes place in July and August. So if you're considering coming to Birmingham, you may well catch some of the footage maybe on TV or on the internet as well, if you're particularly interested in sports. And if you're watching the hockey or squash, it will actually be based on the university campus. We also have, if you are interested in religious services or different religious groups, we have the chaplaincy, which is actually based just behind the sports centre, next to the Guild of Students, and it's a multi-faith centre. So whichever religion you practice, you will almost certainly have support within the chaplaincy. And the Guild of Students is, as I mentioned, behind the sports centre, and it's home to all of our different student societies. So I'll just show you some photos of campus to give you a feel for what it's like to be on campus. This is the Aston Webb building. Now, it's one of the historic buildings, so it was built in 1900, or they certainly started to build it in 1900. And the clock tower is right in front of this building. It's where we have graduation ceremonies, it's where we hold exams, and we have formal events within the Great Hall. But it's also, we encourage our students to use this space. So although it's where the Vice-Chancellor has his office, and where we hold very formal events, we also have public lectures that are open to students and staff. We also have our careers fair within the Great Hall. And we have the student hub in this building. So if you've got any questions about registering on your modules, collecting your BRP card or student ID card at the start of term, or if you want to access the international student team or careers service, you'll be going along to the student hub in this building. Towards the right-hand side of the building is where geography and geology are based, and the Geological Museum is at the back of this building as well. This is the business school. It's the historic part of the business school. So it was originally built around 1900, and it was used as a halls of residence for female students, and it was the first one in the UK, which meant that women could attend university on the same basis as men, because they could now actually live at the university. So it's the historic part of the business school. It's used for undergraduate teaching, and many of the business school staff will have their offices in this building. Now, at the back of this building, we've expanded out the facilities, and we've got 2 modern annexes at the back of the building, which is where you have teaching spaces, you have some computing facilities, and also cafe facilities, so you can sit and have a coffee and do your study within the business school. The grounds are really beautiful for business school. So when students graduate, they will often come back to business school grounds dressed in their graduation dress, and they'll have their graduation photos taken outside of this building. This is the College of Arts and Law. This is actually the law building. And right at the end of this building is one of the psychology buildings. And the base of the building that you can see on the left-hand side of the photo is actually the University Clock Tower. So this is right in the very centre of campus. This building was renovated a few years ago, so it has a new common room facility. The classrooms and the student common room were renovated at the same time. And then only a couple of years ago, we added a new mooting suite for the law students. And we also renovated the law library, which is towards where the camera is based for this photo. Actually, I think I took this photo just a couple of years ago on campus. I also took this photo. So this is the School of Mechanical Engineering. And it's a really beautiful part of campus. I quite often will return from a visit to Japan in March, where I've just seen all of the cherry blossom, and I love the fact that Japanese people really enjoy the blossom season. In the UK, we have actually quite a few blossom trees, but we don't necessarily notice them quite so much, which I think is a bit of a shame. But this part of campus is really beautiful because there's a lot of trees with white blossom outside, and they tend to flower around April, so just when I come back from Tokyo. Now, this building is also where the Formula Racing team are based within mechanical engineering. So if you're interested in that, in joining that society, even if you're not studying mechanical engineering, you may well be using this room, this building, because that's where their laboratory is based. And behind this building is where chemical engineering and civil engineering are also based. This is the music building in the centre of campus. And, I've mentioned it has a really nice cafe on the ground floor. We were also doing some filming for student videos outside this area just a few weeks ago. So you may see some new country videos pop up on our page. Unfortunately, we didn't have any Japanese students, but maybe when you come to the university, you might want to volunteer for the next student video that we do. And we can film you hopefully on campus as well to update our Japanese video. This is just to give you a feel for the different types of buildings on campus. So this is the geography building that you can see in the background, and it's based right next door to University Centre. And University Centre is where we have the accommodation services. Careers also have a facility here. We also have counselling and guidance based here, and different shops and places to eat as well. It's not such a pretty building, although they have renovated it recently, but it is the real hub within the centre of campus. This is the new library, and you can see in the foreground the university crests. These crests were originally on the top of the old library, which stood in this part of campus. We demolished the old library. It looked a historic building, but it actually wasn't very old. And obviously library facilities have changed in recent years. We have a lot more electronic resources. We really needed the facilities to be upgraded for students. So you can see the new library in the background. It has a cafe on the ground floor. We kept the crests from the old building, and this is now used by our students when they graduate as a photo opportunity. So when they hand in their dissertation, they come and have their dissertation photo taken by the crests of the old library. And behind this wall where the crests are, it's actually a large green space, and we host a number of events on campus throughout the year. So we've had, this year we've had an open air festival for students with lots of places to eat, open air games and lots of things to do. And we've also had an open air cinema for students over the summer, because obviously we've had some COVID restrictions in the UK, but because we've got this large open space, it means that we can put lots of events on in the open air. And you can see this is a photo of the campus. Now you can see at the bottom of the photo, the sports pitches. We really rank quite highly in the university sports leagues for many of our different sports. So our soccer team is really high performing. Also rugby and cricket and hockey as well. So one of our recent graduates actually won a gold medal in the Rio Olympics in the hockey, and she was also participating in the Tokyo Olympics this year. And you can see the sports centre on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and the clock tower in the centre of the university campus. And then if you look towards the top left of the photo, there's 3 white oval-shaped buildings. That is the hospital, which is right next door to the university campus. And the medical school is just in front of the hospital. Now we teach quite a few clinical subjects, so medicine, we also teach things like pharmacy, physiotherapy, nursing, and many of the students will do their clinical placements or their practical placements at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. And then across the road, so at the bottom of the photo, you can see a road. Just across the road is the School of Dentistry, which is based in the dental hospital. So we have some fantastic resources for many of the different subject areas on campus. And we have, it's not really easy to see from this photo because there's a lot of trees and the campus is quite large, but we also have 3 student campus villages where you can do your first year if you want to stay on campus. If you want to stay in your second and third year, you can also ask to do that as well. So we have a wide range of accommodation available. Now, student societies, we have a wide range of student societies, and you will be introduced to all of these at the start of term during Welcome Week. So they usually have an exhibition of the student societies, and we recommend that you start by joining a different range of student societies. So if you're studying a course, if you're studying something like physiotherapy or psychology or urban and regional planning, you will have a society specific to that subject area that you can join. And you'll be mixing with students from your subject area, and you might do some research or some specific activities related to your course within that student society. Then we have societies that will help you with different skills. So things like the Debating Society, the Toastmasters Society, which is where you learn to do things like public speaking, and the International Students Association. And then there are other societies that you may be interested in. They'll help with your CV, but they'll also help you to meet and make friends and develop different interests. So things like the Volunteering Society, where you get lots of different volunteering opportunities within the city of Birmingham, and conservation, so things like environmental management. But then there's also ones such as the Japanese Student Society, so where you can meet up with other Japanese students. And then there's ones that are just for different interests that you might have or that you might want to find out a bit more about. So things like the Purple Mermaid Societies, where you can learn circus skills, so things like juggling. There's also things like drama and music societies. There's the Harry Potter Society, where they'll play Quidditch amongst different UK universities. The Film Society and the Disney Society. So there's lots of different things that you can do. And if you want to do something really daring, there's things like diving, skydiving, and also things like skiing and snowboarding. And they will arrange, hopefully now that restrictions are reducing, they will now start to arrange different events and different trips for students. So if you want to go skiing, they usually arrange for a skiing trip throughout the year. So I've mentioned accommodation. We have 3 university student villages. So the Vale Village is the largest of those, and it's built around a lake. It's a really pretty place to live. And also we have a large festival at the Vale Village each year at the end of term. So when you've finished all of your exams, there's a big music festival and fun fair, which is based at the Vale Village. Then we also have Pritchett's Park and Selly Oak. Now, to walk from these villages, so Pritchett's Park and the Vale Village will probably take you about 20 minutes to walk down to the University Clock Tower. Selly Oak is technically off campus, but it's only just across the road from the campus, and it actually only takes you about 5 minutes to walk to the University Clock Tower. All of the rooms are single occupancy, so you don't share with anyone else. And you have the option to either have your own bathroom, or you can save a bit of money and go shared bathroom. Shared bathroom facilities are actually really nice facilities, and you usually share 1 or 2 bathroom facilities between 4 to 6 rooms, depending on which halls of residence you're in. You can also select to go self-catered, or you can go meal plan, which is catered. So if you go meal plan, we top up your university ID card with your credit for the week, and you can spend that credit in and around all of the different catering facilities on campus. So you don't have to eat in your halls of residence, you can eat pretty much anywhere on campus. If you're self-catered, 4 or 6 rooms are usually form a flat, and they will usually share kitchen. Now that kitchen has usually something like 2 ovens, it has lots of fridge and freezer facilities. So it's very easy for more than one of you to be cooking at any one time. And actually some of our students, when they get to know each other within halls of residence and within the kitchen facilities, they will probably actually cook together at meal times. You don't have to, but many students will choose to do that. And you can sit and eat within the kitchen. So there's a table and chairs, and there's also a sofa, so you can sit and chat to students while you're eating as well. You can download the accommodation guide from our website, and we guarantee accommodation for our firm offer holders. So you apply through UCAS to your university course, and just make sure you've applied by the 31st of July. So it's quite a late deadline, and then we will guarantee you accommodation for your first year. So our entry requirements, we will consider your foundation programme at NIC. We may ask for a certain percentage in a specific subject, or we may just ask for an overall percentage. The percentage is going to vary according to which subject you apply for. Now, if you want to know what we'd be looking for as a guide from your foundation programme, you're welcome to contact me. So I don't have a specific table listing all of our subjects, but I can speak to the subject area and I can ask them what we'd want you to get within your foundation programme. You must supply your predicted grades, and NIC can supply those grades for you. You'll also need an academic reference from the college, so one of your teachers can provide that reference on your UCAS application. You need a personal statement, and the personal statement is usually, it's not very complicated. It's a bit different to if you're applying to an American university. So we're not so interested in your extracurricular activities. In other words, if we don't need you to be a fantastic sports person or fantastic at music. If you are, that's great, because we know that you will take part in those activities at university. But actually, UK universities are very interested in why you want to do that subject area. So what are you planning to do in the future, and what sparked your interest in that subject area? So if you're planning to do something like geography, for example, why are you interested in geography? What sparked your interest? You can talk about things like human geography, or you can talk about physical geography. If you've done a project, if you did it at school before you joined NIC, you can talk about that. If you're part of a specific group outside of college, where you might go and do different activities that might be relevant to geography or relevant to the subject area you're interested in, tell us about that. You can also tell us about any study or extracurricular activities you do outside of college, and you can apply those to be relevant to the subject that you're interested in. So we're interested because it shows that you're a good all-round individual. It also shows if you're interested in other things outside of college, we appreciate that you will then settle in and join different student societies, and that will make you, you'll make friends at university. It means that you'll be happy at university, and it means that you'll study better on your subject area. So that's why we're interested in your extracurricular activities, but really we want to know why you're interested in that particular subject area. So you can find details on the course webpage. So for example, one student, I think the first student that came from NIC actually chose philosophy. So if you're interested in philosophy, for example, you search for that on the university website, you'll find this subject page. You can have a look at the modules that you'll study on the programme, which will give you a really good feel for the subject. And you can find the A-level requirements. So it will give you an idea as to whether it's one of the ones that are going to require a higher percentage from you. So for example, history needs AAA at A-level, so it's one of the higher ones. If you're looking at business, for example, it's AAB at A-level, so it's going to be a slightly lower percentage on your foundation programme. But something like business, for example, although it may be looking for a slightly lower percentage, it's a very popular programme. So I'd always suggest that you're applying early if you're applying to something like business, and also bear in mind there may be no flexibility on the grades that we ask for. So make sure that you really concentrate on getting your best grades on your foundation programme. You also need English. So for proficiency, you'll need English, and we accept a range of different English certificates. And NIC can help you prepare for those tests and find out where to take those. The level depends on the programme, so the science subjects tend to require IELTS 6. Most programmes, and most programmes I think that you'll be interested in applying for, so things like business, things like the humanities and the social sciences, they require IELTS 6.5. There's only a few subjects that need IELTS 7. So, for example, law requires IELTS 7, and physiotherapy and some of the health programmes. But I think most of those that you'll be considering will be in the social science area, and they are IELTS 6.5. We will also ask for things like maths proficiency. So you may need your, if you haven't done mathematics or anything that's mathematic related on your foundation, you just need to provide your school transcript. And we're just looking for to see that you've actually studied some mathematics previously. Most of our social science subjects, they don't require a particularly high maths grade. It's only GCSE grade C, so it's really just a standard level to show that you've studied it before. So if you're interested in finding out more, I really recommend that you take a look at our YouTube channel. For many of our subjects, we have different subject information videos on the YouTube channel. Last year, we did pretty much all of our open days online. And that's really good because if you're interested in a specific subject area, you can still find those videos online. And some of the subject areas had alumni or current students talking as part of their subject talks. So you can find out actually what it's like to be a student in that subject area at university. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are most active. Facebook, the university will start to post a lot around the start of term and show you what kind of activities we have going on campus. So if you're looking to get a feel as to what it's like actually being on campus, that's a really good channel to follow. You can take a look at the Japan country page on the university's website and you'll find my contact details there. So if there's anything that you didn't get a chance to ask today, or that occurs to you after today, you're always very welcome to drop me a line directly. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. And so if any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can either unmute yourselves or you can ask them in the chat box. Okay, so Yumiko-san, is there anything that you wanted me to cover?
Yeah, thank you very much. Students, 何か質問があったらぜひ聞いてみてください。何でもいいですよ。メジャーについて、クラブ活動について、生活について、ぜひ聞いてみてください。
Is there a particular subject area that anyone would like me to talk about in a bit more detail?
はい。何か、自分が興味ある分野のことあれば、アレクサ先生、そこにフォーカスしてお話ししてくれますので、この学部は何ですかとかどうですかっていうのはぜひ聞いてみてもらうといいかな。はい、どうぞ。大丈夫？なんか興味ある学部あるでしょ？ぜひ一声かけてみてください。ないの？
Okay. I know that students are quite often in business. And so at the University of Birmingham, we offer business management, which is the largest of our business programs. We also offer accounting and finance, which is a professionally accredited degree. If you're looking to maybe it's in accountancy or finance, particularly internationally, it's accredited by UK bodies, so ACCA and CIMA, but also by one of the Australian academies as well. So it is a particularly popular course for international students. We also offer economics and money, banking and finance. Now, for those programs, you need to have some mathematical content, but we don't ask for A-level mathematics, for example. As long as you've got a good level of mathematics on previous study, they are open to lots of different students. So we have a student asking about the cost of living for a year. So our accommodation is roughly £6,500 for the academic year. I need to translate that into yen. So you just have to just one moment. I'll see if I can get my conversion program up. So £6,500 in yen is about 975,000 yen a year. I hope. Does that sound reasonable, Michael and Yumiko? So that's for accommodation. Now, for visa purposes, we usually suggest that you have around £11,000, that you have around £11,000 to or between £9,000 and £11,000. So that's up to about 1.5 million yen for the year. That includes your accommodation. So that's accommodation, it's food, it's travel, it's any books you might want to buy. So between about 1.5 million yen, very roughly, is what you'll require. Now, you can live a lot more cheaply than that £6,500 for accommodation. So if you went for shared bathroom facilities, and as I said, my colleague that I work with at the university, she actually stayed in, when she was a student at the University of Birmingham, she stayed in shared bathroom halls of residence in her first year. And she said they were really good. There wasn't a queue for the bathroom. Students have lectures at different times. So if you're living in a shared flat, you're almost certainly living with students that are studying lots of different subjects. So somebody might be doing medicine, somebody might be doing history. They're all starting at different times. So it's pretty easy to live in the shared bathroom facilities. Many of them will have 2 bathrooms actually now between 6 rooms. And that's definitely a way of saving money if you're interested in saving money. You can use your money then to do things like a lot more travel if you want to. Many of our students will travel around Europe when they're with us at university, because it's very cheap and cost effective to travel around Europe and go to different cities. So are there any other questions that students would like to ask about living on campus or different subject areas that you might be interested in?
Hi, this is Moe.
Hello, Moe.
May I ask about the tuitions of the international development study?
Is that the tuition fee or is it what you will study?
Tuitions for international development.
The tuition fee. Yeah, so for international development, that's going to be around £20,000 per year. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's mainly a class-based course, but it's also based within the International Relations Department. So you will have the option to do a year overseas study if you want to. So that's a 3-year programme, but you can also make it into a 4-year programme if you want a split the year study overseas.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to go on and do that at postgraduate level afterwards, we also do MSc programmes in international development, where you can specialise in things like poverty or state building or governance. You can also look at things like different wars and conflicts. So you can actually specialise further in international development at the postgraduate level.
Okay.
Thank you very much. 他に質問、チェフとかは学部、ポストグラジュエートとか聞かなくていいの？
あ、はい、聞きます。はい。
Hello.
I'm thinking about going to graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
And, なんだろう。GPA? What's the required GPA score to go there?
So are you doing the foundation at NIC?
Foundation?
No, he has already graduated to Japanese university. So
okay.
he is seeking the postgraduate program.
Yeah.
Okay. So it does depend which master's program you are considering, but roughly we're looking for a B average or between 70 to 79%. So it depends on the grading scheme for your university, because the grading schemes really do vary. But roughly whatever falls into that 70 to 79%. And it depends what you want to study. So you may have needed to study in that subject area before, but if you want to do something like international development, then you don't need to have studied international development before.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
After then, he is seeking his transcript at this moment. After receiving his transcript, could you check his transcript?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you want to email me directly to advise.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know that most master's courses are 1 year full time in the UK.
He need.
Yeah, most of them. There are some 2-year programs, but most of them are 1 year.
はい、他には何か質問。はい、カズマ
This
君。
is Julie. I'm interested in animal psychology or anything with like psychology associated with animal. So I want to ask, do you have any like course like that?
Oh, that's very specific, Jury. That's a very specific course. We do psychology, and it is quite a science-based program. I think it's mainly human psychology, though. Let me just
Human psychology.
yeah. Let me just check the. I think if you want, we're doing anything to do with animals, it might be in biological sciences. Because the psychology program usually leads on to. Sorry, I'm looking at another screen as I'm looking away. The psychology program usually leads on to people wanting to do things like clinical psychology, actually, practice. So I think it's more it's very much human related. So if we do things like animal studies, it's usually within biological sciences for us.
Okay. So it's like a zoology, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Kazuma. Yeah, I have a question. I want to play soccer in football in university. So, is there some tryouts to enter soccer team?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I want to play football in university. So, is there some tryout to enter soccer team?
So you wanted to play football, was that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we have a range of football teams. So we actually have some quite high level performing teams in football, all the way down to I know in halls of residence, students will quite often organise a five-a-side football league. So you can try out for the higher level teams, and you can also play for fun within your halls of residence. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved. When are you planning to apply to university? Is it for 2022?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were interested, if you wanted to come to the UK for a visit and also to see the campus, you might want to choose, if you're really interested in sport, you might want to consider coming to the Commonwealth Games. So the tickets for that are actually on sale. I think it's a lottery, and they actually go on sale at the beginning of September. So if you had a quick look at the Commonwealth Games, you might be interested to apply for those tickets. And as I said, the hockey and squash are going to be on the university campus, but the other sports will be in and around Birmingham as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
他に何か質問はないですか？大丈夫？ OK。はい、大丈夫そうね。Thank you very much, Alexa. Michael。千穂君？はい、ごめんね。なし、大丈夫。OK、Thank you。実はね、バーミンガム大学でマイケル先生の母校なんだよね。学部課程も出られたし、マスター課程でも出られているということで、マイケル先生から、Michael, do you have any additional recommendation for Birmingham?
Well,
Because you were former.
Alexa has done a fantastic job anyway of showing it. I'd be quite biased as well because it is a wonderful university, and it's a Russell Group university, which she's already said, and just has a fantastic reputation. It's a great campus. facilities are just amazing. Sports facilities are amazing. It is simply just, one of the best universities in not just in the country but in the world. So really, really wonderful place. So that's all what else could I say?
Oh, thank you, Michael.
Yeah, actually, it was really beautiful campus. I've been there. I was so impressed. すごい良かった。もう他の大学よりも良かった。なんで、まあ、イギリス興味あるって人はぜひトライしてほしいと思います。他に何か質問がなければね、これで終わりにしたいと思います。皆さんね、アレクサ先生に感謝の気持ちを伝えていただきたいと思いますので、拍手で。Thank you very much, Alexa.
Oh, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Thank you.
See, じゃあ皆さんどうもありがとうございました。See you. ありがとう。
ソンヤさん。
はいはい。ちなみにね、マイケルサッカー選手だから、マイケルにサッカーのことよく聞いたらいいよ。Yeah, I told him, Michael is a soccer player.
Yeah, I studied at Birmingham as well, and I was a soccer player for England colleges and university. So playing at university soccer level is really high. I would say university, the top level is very close to professional. So if you're a good soccer player, you're okay. But
and he is a good soccer player.
Yeah, so he'll be okay.
And also he has a good high school grade.
Yeah, it would be a fantastic place to I mean, the sports facilities there that you can see, that's not all of the facilities. The University of Birmingham owns lots of land and has lots of sports fields where they play soccer, and there's many teams as well. I think there's at least 3 or 4 proper university teams, both for the men and the women, and then there's Birmingham has its own league as well, and then I think there's lots of mini leagues as well for futsal, 5-a-side and all of that. So it is very competitive. For example, my daughter plays a high level of soccer, and one of her teammates went to Birmingham, and she is in the 3rd team, and she's a really good player, and she plays in the 3rd team. So the soccer level is really high in the UK, really high. So if you're looking to develop, football, the one thing I would say though is soccer is different in the UK than to Japan.
Oh, I see.
So like the guys will, I don't know how tall you are, but I'm like 1 meter 84, 1 meter 85, and I'm small, like a lot, like goalkeepers are 2 meters tall. Yeah. And defenders are like 1 meter 93.